Well, howdy, John.
Hey there, Sam. How are you? Hey,
I'm doing good.
that's a nice hoodie you got there.
Thank you. It was a little chilly today for the first time ever, and
Oh wow.
I guess that's because it's fall time now. It's September 3rd.
Yep. Man, I'm looking
And
forward to it being less hot.
I don't know exactly where the divisions between seasons occur in our Gregorian calendar, but when I was taking Spanish classes, I'm pretty sure that my sensei told me that in Mexico the seasons were right November, December, January, or maybe it was December, January, February are winter, right?
Sure.
And then the next 3 months just are spring, and it's just cut off each month. So September is the first month of fall.
I always think of September. I think of the embers as the beginning of fall, and then I guess December is kind of winter, but
yeah. Well,
but
December
we lived
is
in a
fully
place
winter. December is winter.
We lived in a place that only had 2 seasons, so we never really learned good when we were kids.
We lived in a place where every day, even every hour, what the weather was like was just randomly decided by the roll of the dice. So
it was once raining in my backyard and sunny in my front yard.
Cool. That's cool.
I think the Spanish word for teacher is maestro.
Maestro. Meister.
Meister.
All right. Let's talk about a book. Hey, this week we started the second part of Oathbringer, the third book in the Stormlight Archive.
Yep.
Very exciting stuff. Also,
3.2.
I did decide to invest. I say invest, but it doesn't make any sense because I'm never going to sell these things.
Yeah.
I decided to spend $200 on the cool leather-bound collector's edition Way of Kings books.
Yeah.
Very excited about that.
They look pretty sick. He told me they were $200, and I was like, I don't regret not getting them, but they are pretty cool.
Well, you still have a couple of days, John, if you want to pick them up.
And
honestly, I will probably continue to buy every leather-bound collector's edition book Brandon Sanderson puts out.
I mean,
for the
they do look
Archive.
super cool.
So that's that's exciting. Okay,
the Oathbringer one's going to be 3 books.
Let's start with some interludes, huh?
Sure. Forgot about those.
We start with a lighthouse keeper. His name is Pooley. Which is kind of the naming convention. It sounds like the sort of name that would have been used in The Wheel of Time for those slave mage women. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah,
Did you get that far?
Pooley. Yeah, I did.
That sounds like the sort of name that one of them would have had.
Yeah, no, she what's her name? Not Brady Incan girl, the other one. Egwene.
Egwene.
Yeah, when she becomes a slave, I think Thule is her name. When she disobeys.
Yeah, it sounds like those names, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Anyway,
okay, but this guy is not a slave mage girl.
No.
He is a lighthouse keeper,
right?
Who, as far as I can tell, may live on that one island. Oh my God, what's it called?
The turtle?
No.
Oh.
Blueskin Bugman Island.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember what it's called.
This is a disaster. I think he said something about Blueskin was normal or something for him.
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
Unfortunately, I read this, or I listened to this days ago now. Normally, I listen to everything the day of, so my memory is crisp and sharp.
Mm-hmm.
This time
John
around,
messed it all up.
I might be a little sketchy, yeah, because John is a flake who can't do a freaking podcast.
Save his life.
Yeah, either way, he's a lighthouse keeper. He's kind of psyched about the new storm because
he's into it.
That the time is coming when his life quest to guide people during a time of great tumultuous turmoil may finally be coming to an end.
So I mean, hey, I can't really blame him. He's about to hit some solid fulfillment. Hey, bring the storm on, buddy boy.
Yeah, so he's waiting for them to come. Who are they? Well, we'll find out soon enough. But when they arrive, his lighthouse will guide them Maybe that'll even happen in the kind of interim book between books 3 and 4. Who knows?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
All right, and that's kind of all I have for that one. I don't know. Lighthouse Guy. It was just a short little bit.
Yeah. Then the next interlude we have Alista, I presume.
Alista, it's fun, you know. She's an ardent.
Yeah.
They're all panicking about the Everstorm, but she just wants to read her romance.
Yeah, she wants
novel.
to catch up on Fabio and his next flame.
Yeah, so I don't know. This was kind of fun. I get the feeling Brandon Sanderson was just like, I like this idea of like she just wants to read a romance novel, and then boom, it became an interlude.
This just felt like a fun little filler episode.
Yeah, it was a little filler episode.
And they talk about the Dawn Chant a little bit, so there's probably something important happening with the Dawn Chant, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. But yeah, fun little chapter.
They're having fun. Okay. And then we get to Venli, and this is the interlude where, like, stuff that seems relevant to the story, where we are right now, actually goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, Eshonai's dead?
She's heckin' dead, yeah.
I did not
kicked her off a cliff.
I did not remember this at all.
Yeah, no. When she came across her body, I was like, she's dead. Oh, yeah, that's right.
We got to Eshonai being dead, and I was like, well, Eshonai's not really dead, right? Yeah. But now I'm kind of thinking. I'm like trying to remember, like, did Eshonai come up again?
Right.
Maybe she's dead.
It was not strictly an on-screen death. Not that matters, but whatever.
Yeah, well, no, it is certainly kind of a lame death for like a named character who, I mean, we've read from her perspective, right? She's like kind of a big deal.
No, now she had the internal voice.
In a flood.
Yeah, because
that's kind of lame.
Got kicked off the cliff by Adolin in their fight, and then she's down in the chasm. She was trying to get above the flood, but it kind of consumed her. But yeah, I thought that because she had her like voice, her inner voice clamoring inside her to fight against Stormform or whatever. And I thought that was going to come up again, but kind of hard to do that if she's dead.
Holy moly. Also, it was told to us that these Voidspren who are kind of guiding the Voidbringers, the Parshendi, whatever you want to call them, like, the one that's guiding them named Ulim was, like, human? Like, he didn't look like a Parshendi, he looked human, I guess?
Yeah.
And there were more hints as to these, like, Voidspren maybe literally being, like, the spirits of long-dead Parshendi or Voidbringers or something.
Yeah, something like that.
It was all kind of whack. I don't know. I feel like we got important information in this interlude, but, like, I don't know what to do with it right now until we get more information later.
It's too raw, exactly.
Yeah, so,
So yeah, they're like, well, hey, get the shard plate, get her gear, you know, and so Venli takes it off despite the fact that disturbing Parshendi bodies is very taboo. And Venli's like, "Oh man, Eshonai, you always kept me in check. Now that you're gone, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna go crazy."
Yeah. Also, we have been talking about how, like, you know, had Venli and her crew been Stormform before?
Yeah.
There was a line in here that made it sound like they had not been.
Yeah, I kind of recall because they were talking about how I think it was Ulim, the Spren that's hanging out with them right now, like had met, like Venli and this Spren had kind of been figuring out Stormform on the side much before we saw Eshonai take it. So yeah, it sounded like it was being developed right up to the point where they all kind of transformed. So
yeah, but like them taking on the form in the past is something we can kind of cross off our theory list.
Yeah.
Also, Eshonai's corpse did have some weird like ball of light. I think it was described as comet-like spren floating around it. So that will almost certainly come up again at some point. Who knows how long it'll take?
Don't know what that's about, but man, spren are important little dudes.
Important little dudes. Okay, and onwards to the actual beginning of part 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we left off last time with our boys in Urithiru, you know, Shallan and a lot of members of Bridge 4 and Adolin and whatnot had just fought off Rey Shafir, the Midnight Mother.
Yep.
Which was cool and it was fun, and Shallan is now kind of resting, and it's the aftermath of that, right? She's thinking about that pillar in the middle of the room that was all covered in gems.
Yep.
And she's like, can you imagine if those were all filled with stormlight? Like, that place would light up like some sort of rave or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fun. I liked that because that was really easy to visualize. A big pillar full of like lit up gemstones. I was like, cool.
So remind me, this pillar, it's like all the gems. It's not like each gem is like pressed into this pillar made of like concrete or something. Like the pillar is made of the gems, and they're all kind of like bleeding into one another, right?
Oh,
is that...
I got the feeling that they were pressed into it like concrete.
Okay, because that's what I thought, but I feel like there was a line. Well, no, it says jewel encrusted pillar on this little summary thing, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah. So Yasna we found out that she made it back right at the end of part 1, and so Shallan finds out in this chapter. Oh, hey, look, it's Yasna. She's fine.
And their relationship is now a little bit whack.
Yeah.
Because last time they were together, Yasna was the,
big, powerful,
smart, powerful one.
Mm-hmm.
And Shallan was the ward, and they had a very like almost servant master, or I guess mentor mentee relationship, right?
Yep, definitely.
But now Shallan has gotten very accustomed to doing things on her own.
Right, she became a lot cooler in the meantime.
Yeah. So,
how's that gonna play out? Because Yasna comes back and then immediately gives like Shallan like an order, to sketch the pillar, and like says they'll discuss things later, and Shallan's like, oh well, yeah, I guess I have to kind of do that.
Yeah, so I mean that's all a little bit whack. Shallan, now that she's accustomed to doing things on her own, there's probably going to be pushback in her relationship. She does just do the sketch that Yasna wants her to for now,
right.
But like I think that this is
yeah, this can't last forever.
This might be pointing towards some interpersonal issues coming up in the near future.
Yep. Yasna does kind of, realize the weight of like everything Shallan was able to accomplish by herself, and is pretty impressed. So like that's something, but it's not gonna be enough to smooth over this new awkwardness.
So I mean, Yasna's back, and honestly, like, it's a less big deal than I thought.
Yeah, it's not a huge deal. Yeah.
It's like, oh, cool. Navani's happy.
Yeah.
I think Yasna does finally actually explain some, like, specific surge stuff to Shallan about, like, what the Else Callers can do.
Oh, well, she says, like, because Shallan asks, she's like, how did you survive? And she was like, I'm an Else Caller. And Shallan is like, oh, great, information I don't know anything about. That explains it.
Yeah,
and Yasna's like, well, I'll explain it at some point, but just draw the thing for now.
Yeah. All right. Moving onwards, we get the first. I would say the first part of this reading that I actually do care about quite a bit, which is Dalinar pulling Queen Fen into a vision.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Now this was fun. This was dope.
Mm-hmm.
We get to see the vision. This was the first one Dalinar got pulled into. He was fighting the Midnight Essence. He was just some random like
farmer
family man. And he protected his wife and his daughter, right?
Yep.
And now Queen Fen has been yanked into the vision by the Stormfather. She is playing the role of the same man he was back when he was in this vision. And Dalinar is now kind of showing up almost after the fact. Well, I guess he's like fighting stuff, but that's just kind of for fun. I don't know. Yeah. And then eventually he shows up to kind of check in on how Queen Fen is doing and to talk with her. He's like forced her into this meeting. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoyed this whole chapter, because
it goes a lot better for him.
It was fun. It was fun. I mean, Queen Fen was first doing all this leadership stuff and helping the people in this vision, and then he shows up, and he is not as diplomatic in person as he was over Spanreed, right? Where his messages were kind of coming through committee, and he was trying to be super polite and stuff. And he's like, "Why won't you just listen to me, Jesus, woman?" And she's like, all right, now you're speaking my language. Now we can talk.
Now I actually know you care what you're talking about. It's more believable.
Yeah,
this is Dalinar's whole point. Meeting face to face, he was like, it will work so much better this way, and sure enough, it does. Yeah,
bada
at least for Queen Fen.
It worked about as better as he thought it would.
Yep. Yeah. So now he's gonna have to kind of repeat this with all the other monarchs. So we'll see how that goes for him.
Yeah, and it's not like Queen Fen said outright that like, yeah, I'm on your side now. But it was certainly and like definitely progress.
Yeah, step in the right direction.
Yeah, it sounds like there was speculation that she might fear now that he was on the side of the Voidbringers. He was like on their team for some reason.
Yep.
But certainly not that he was just insane. That has been put to rest. So you know, I call that progress.
Right. Hey, that's a win. Mm-hmm. You take them where you can get them, I say.
And I don't know. That was fun. I liked that little chapter.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay. Moving forwards. Now that Kaladin is back, it turns out Bridge 4 have Windrunner powers now.
Right. They're officially becoming Squires Radiant.
They can do flight. They can do sticking to the ceiling. Some of them are better at it than others. There's a woman who's been helping out with Bridge 4, and she wants to be one of the Windrunners, even though she's a woman. Can you believe it?
Oh.
And
back in my day, they never would have let a woman into the Windrunners.
This was another chapter I liked a lot because it was from Sigil's point of view, and I like Sigil, and I feel like we haven't seen enough of him.
Yeah, really. He pops in and out. It seems like.
Yeah, so he was like bringing all this freaking like bookkeeping stuff to Kaladin's attention, and that was fun because it's all stuff that Kaladin doesn't think about. You know, Kaladin's just a warrior who's been given more responsibility than he was, you know, previously accustomed to having, and he's doing his best with it.
Right.
But of course, with that comes a whole lot of bureaucracy that has to be taken care of, and Sigil's like, okay, let's talk, and it was just, I don't know, it was kind of fun just even listening to them talk about all the bureaucracy. Like, I dig it. Yeah,
it was good. So Kaladin's like, yep, could you just more or less handle this for me? And he's like, yeah, sure thing. And there was a fun part in there where Sigil was like, oh man, how would my master deal with this? He would tell a story and then somehow relate it. So he tells a useless story, and Kaladin's like, I'm not really following. Is this what you meant? And Sigil's like, well, I just kind of picked a story. It wasn't necessarily relevant to the situation. I just thought it would kind of play itself out.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's trying to do the Hoid thing, but only Hoid can do the Hoid thing. So.
Right. Yep. But hey, good try.
Yeah, we learned that Sigil was actually studying to be one of the like scribes or whatever they're called in Aesir.
Oh, yep.
But that he failed out of the program, which is crazy.
He failed the
Sigil
test.
Is so much smarter than everyone else.
Yeah, and yet not smart enough.
Yeah.
But he can definitely put that to work now.
Yeah, I mean, this was just fun, just watching Sigil interact with a bunch of people. You know, interacting with Lopin was fun, Rock was fun, Kaladin was fun, and they more or less do a lot of bookkeeping, and then they decide that or I guess they had already decided, but we learned that they're going to start training to like start getting all of Bridge 4 to use these Stormlight powers, and they're going to find new recruits and stuff, and it's going to be dope.
Yeah, should be a good time.
Yeah. All right. Anything else for that one for you, John?
Nope.
Well, moving onwards. We have another flashback. Dalinar is really starting to remember this wife of his.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Mm-hmm.
We have a great flashback where she is pregnant, Af.
Yep. She's he's just kind of recalling they're just hanging out, you know, like at home by the fireplace or whatever, just talking about Spren and war and everything. We know that Evie isn't super jazzed about the fact that Dalinar's a warrior and killing people all the time.
No, they, you know, I guess it must be true that opposites attract, because these have absolutely nothing in common.
Right, yeah. Evie's very into her religion involving the One, which is like a pagan religion considered by Voranism, and
yeah, so, she's not the Passions, is she? Is that her religion?
I don't know if those are the same.
Because she calls the Night Watcher the One.
Yeah.
She does worship the Night Watcher. Is that a part of the Passions, which we've heard about before?
I don't believe it is, no.
I don't recall. I guess it might not even matter.
Right. I think it's something different. But either way,
it's something pagan. It's non-Vorin, that's for sure.
Right, yeah. And so Dalinar is like, she's saying stuff about it, and Dalinar's like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And, yeah, they're just kind of at odds, but not in a super tense way, you know?
Yeah. She's like, stop murdering people. He's like, but I love murdering people.
I was literally about to do that exact same kind of thing. That same bit.
And Dalinar, you know, he's like, well, could I even change if I wanted to? Could I stop murdering people if that was what I was into? And she's like, well, sure you could. All change is possible through the One. Go talk to the Night Watcher.
Right, yeah.
And Evie is the one who like puts that idea into his head.
Yep.
And I suspect that by the end of all of these Dalinar readings, we're going to see that actually manifest.
Yeah, I think so.
And we're going to see his like interaction with the Night Watcher. I really hope we do, because so far we've only heard about it kind of, secondhand.
Secondhand, yeah. Yeah, and so we find out kind of at the end of the chapter that when Dalinar went to kill that guy and his son ended up with the Shard Blade trying to fight him off, he actually did spare him. Thank goodness, because I was traumatized by that chapter. I thought he straight up killed the kid.
Well, that was what Brandon Sanderson had us believe. But Brandon Sanderson is a liar and a thief, and he tricked us.
Yep.
I'll never forgive him.
It was implied. But, so yeah, he spares the kid. He took the Shard Blade, gave the kid back to his mom, and told her to hide him.
Yeah.
And Evie is just overjoyed to hear this. She's like, "You spared somebody. You you didn't kill a kid, man. I'm so in love with you."
Yeah, you didn't kill a kid. This is good. This is
really
good.
Keep it up. And Dalinar's like, "Oh, it feels kind of good to have your wife like you."
But Gavilar, on the other hand, is like, "This is not good."
Yeah, he's like, "You really should have killed that kid."
That kid is a legitimate political rival now. He's rallying people against us.
Yep.
You might not have killed him when he was a kid, but now he's old enough to be a threat, and we are gonna have to take care of him. And Dalinar is kind of like, ooh, okay.
Right. And
a chance to do some more conquest, some more murder.
And Evie's looking at him like, "Hey, now, don't you be doing that?" And he's like, "Oh man, I do want you to like me though." Man.
Yeah, and
dude.
I mean, yeah, we'll see what shakes out.
Yep.
Okay, and now wait a minute. Are we already at the last chapter of this reading?
It was through 38, wasn't it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
we're getting right up to the end here. This is actually a really short episode, isn't it?
Yeah, I was gonna say not a ton of really important stuff happened in these chapters, but it was just kind of a lot of. It didn't feel like filler exactly, but like all of the chapters were just like kind of a lot of storytelling for a little plot advancement. But I didn't mind it,
Sure. No, I enjoyed the reading a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because last week it wasn't as good, but yeah, no, this one I think it just, why use so many words, Brandon Sando? But
yeah,
hey, that's your prerogative.
Chill with the words, jeez, dude. All right, so, now we get a chapter from Rock's point of view.
Oh my gosh, and his name is the crazy Humu Humu Nuka Nuka Apua.
Yeah, Aya Lunamore, something Aya Lunamore.
Yeah, but Lunamore is like what I guess that's his nickname or something.
Well, Rock is his nickname. Lunamore is his given name, I think.
Yeah, so that's what he thinks of himself as most of the time, it seems.
Yeah. Everyone else calls him Rock, but that's just because they can't pronounce it,
Right. Airsick Lowlanders.
Airsick Lowlanders. Gosh darn Airsick Lowlanders. Yeah, so Rock is, chilling with everybody. Rock's a cool dude. He talks in a cool way. I like him. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's kind of revealed during this chapter that Rock did, in fact, used to be a warrior in Horneater culture. The fourth son is the warrior. The third son is the chef. So one of his brothers must surely have died, kind of promoting him to this chef status. And in his culture, it is now officially beneath him to be a warrior.
Right.
So Calvin kind of cracks that and talks to him about it, and it's like, oh, that makes sense.
Right. And he says, I was born a cook this whole time. It just took a minute to get here, So they really, they commit hard to that whole kind of hierarchy.
But what this means, John, is that Rock does actually have epic warrior training.
Yep.
And Rock is probably very, very strong in a fight.
Yeah.
And I would be shocked if that never came up.
Oh, yeah, no. Surely at some point
surprised.
He's going to be pushed to fight, yeah. He's like that mutant from Lilo and Stitch that has all the powers, but he's sworn to only use them to make sandwiches.
Oh, that's God. You're talking about the Lilo and Stitch TV show.
Yep.
I hardly even consider that canon, John.
Yeah, it's like slightly off canon. Oh my gosh, so this is a quick tangent.
Okay.
So I started watching Rick and Morty season 4, right?
Yeah.
And these are, I don't know, these aren't really spoilers. But one of the episodes that's the stand-in episode for Interdimensional Cable, they're on a train, and it's like literal...
Dude. I remember the train.
Yeah, a literal narrative device. Oh my gosh, that episode was so funny, and just every time they break out of the train, they go into situations that could have been canon but aren't.
Yeah.
And they're just getting super meta with it, and that was... Excellent.
All right, mild spoilers, but at the end, when he had to like ruin the story,
Yeah.
and he just started.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, he had to ruin the story to thwart this villain who like only
Story
existed within
Lord.
the train or something. Story
Yeah,
Lord.
he was using their like story potential to power the train, which was like killing them in the process. And so on his little panel, he's got things like, marketability and like broad appeal.
Yeah.
And so it comes up with the final conflict between Rick Morty and Evil Morty and his army of Ricks. And so Rick is like, we got to make this story as lame as we can. So, and I didn't realize this at first. I kind of read the summary because I watched this at like 2 a.m. But yeah, so he prays to Jesus, and Jesus saves them. And at the end, Rick or Morty is like, "Man, that's kind of a low blow, Rick. Like, you're really just picking on religion for no reason." He's like, "I mean, Jesus saved us. What do they have to be offended by?"
Yeah.
But what I didn't realize at the moment was he was doing a literal Deus Ex Machina, like the most contrived ending possible.
Yeah.
Which was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was. I thought that was hysterical.
Yeah, no, that was super funny.
So, what even reminded you about that in our show here?
I don't remember. I had a very good connection.
Can you even call it a tangent when it cannot be linked back?
Yes, okay, so this was a tangent of a tangent because you said you hardly considered the Lilo and Stitch thing canon. And I was like, well, it's sort of off canon, like these things that happened in this episode of Rick and Morty.
Okay, it can be linked back. Okay, we're in the clear.
Yeah, all right. We've come full circle. Anyway.
All right.
So Rock, he's got warrior training. Might use it at some point. We'll see.
Rock is hanging out, being cool. A bunch of members of Bridge 4 are practicing with Stormlight. Some of them are better at it than others.
Mm-hmm.
Lopin is actually kind of struggling to manifest it. He's like, "Don't worry, guys. I'll show you how it's done." And then he's like, "Any second now." And Lopin is like kind of struggling with it, surprisingly, because he was really good with it at first.
Yeah, he was the best of
his
them.
arm.
Yeah, but now he's struggling.
And there's that one bridge man who's been like crippled this whole time, and he is able to consume a bunch of Starlight and get use of his legs back, which is dope and very exciting.
Awesome. Yeah, that was a fun little way to end the chapter. Because they're just all out on the Shattered Plains practicing, and
I think Scar was kind of struggling
dialogue
with it, but he sort of figures it out too.
Yep. Because he's now the best spearman since Moash has gone rogue.
Yeah. And then, what does Rock see?
Oh, but smoke. A plume of smoke on the horizon. Uh-oh.
No, before that, it's a bunch of Spren, John. It's a bunch of honor Spren.
Oh, that's right. Yes, a bunch of Spren.
They're watching everybody train, and Syl is kind of smug about it. She's like, aha, they said I was wrong to come hunt down Kaladin.
Yep.
But now what are they doing? They're looking for potential Windrunners to, like, make, not just, like, Kaladin's squires or whatever they're called.
Right. Like actual full-on knights.
But, like, legit Knights Radiant, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Syl's like, they don't want to come over here to talk to me because then they would have to tell me they were wrong.
Yeah,
right? And that's fun. I like Syl just being right and smug about it. You know.
Also, I don't know if we knew this before. It was probably when she was like first introduces herself to Kaladin, but her full name's like Sulfera or something.
Sulfrena.
Sulfrena, yeah.
She's been referred to as Sulfrena a number of times, John.
Really?
Yes, like at least probably like a dozen times now.
Huh. When I saw this, I was like, okay. I think I knew that, but I couldn't remember.
No, she's definitely been called Sulfrena multiple times.
All right, quick other tangent.
Okay.
So my girlfriend has a cat, and the cat's name is Remy.
Your girlfriend also has a cat?
She has 2 cats.
Why have I not seen pictures of them, John?
That's a great point. I have pictures of them.
Well, send them to me right after this.
Okay, we'll do. One is Poe. He's a black cat. He's pretty big. He's bigger than Mochi. He's like, oh gosh, he's 12, 13 pounds.
Is he a chonker?
No, he's not very chunky.
Okay.
But he does not like affection very much. Like, he wants to be pet, but if he will not sit in your lap. He will not like come like do the cat thing, and he just runs around yelling a lot of the time. But he's fun. And the other one, Remy, is just like the most cuddly little cat, and she has some like dwarfism or something, so she'll just look like a kitten forever.
Nice.
So that's solid. But anyway, her name is Remy. And so I asked what her full name was, just kind of as a joke. And she was like, oh no, her name is just Remy. So now every time I see Remy, I call her name. What would you say Remy is short for?
Remelia.
That's what I call her. Exactly.
Yes,
it seems like I was like, it just makes sense. So yeah, I would say Remelia. Wow, that's great. Again, a tangent that doesn't have.
All right, I have to write down a reminder for myself to name this episode Remelia. No, I won't. But
Okay. Yeah.
All right, yeah, it's fun. Rock brings a bunch of like bowls with like little spheres in them to all the honor
like
spren.
an offering. Yeah.
I suspect, given how much honor spren like it when people show them respect, that one of them will pick Rock, and Rock will become a full-fledged Knight Radiant.
And his shard thing is going to be a big spoon to make extra
It's
special
going to be a
stew.
big ladle. It's going to be... I have to censor this now. I've said F word twice now.
Oh.
It's going to be like a big effing ladle, though, and that's going to be fun.
That'll be great.
And my guess is that all of the major named Bridge 4 members are going to become full-fledged Knight Radiant. So, like, Lopin, probably going to become one. Sigil, probably going to become one.
Yep.
Scar, probably going to become one. Rock, almost definitely. Teft, probably. Although Teft, let's talk about him a second.
I meant to bring this up in the last Bridge 4 chapter. He's been missing for a while, and we know he kind of does this. Or at least the last time he did this, he came back and it wasn't a big deal at all. But it sketches me out every time.
Now, Teft, as I understand it, he's not, like, totally... It's not like nobody's seen him for, like, 72 hours, right?
Right, yeah.
It's just that he's often off somewhere. And the way Sigil is talking about this, it sounds like Teft is indeed, as we theorized before, doing something shady.
Mm-hmm.
Something bad, but it sounds like Sigil knows exactly what it is, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to remember, like, back, I've read this 2 whole days ago. You can't expect to remember every little thing.
Right.
But it sounds like Teft is into something not so cool.
Yeah, something seedy.
Yeah. But I'm sure we'll figure out what that is soon enough.
Probably will never come up.
Yeah.
So after the whole thing with the Spren, then he sees some smoke on the horizon. This is like right after they get Haber's legs up and running again.
Yep.
So then they're like, well, we got to get over there. Let's carry the bridge, huh, for old time's sake.
And with their new Stormlight powers, they're able to carry the bridge so good. It's not even funny.
Yeah. Yep.
And actually, this kind of moment right here, this is the kind of thing I want to be able to create in my D&D campaigns sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're fighting this foe, in this case carrying the bridge, which was previously difficult, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now it's a breeze, right?
Yeah.
Hot knife through butter.
Yep.
And they're able to kind of look at that and remember how hard it used to be and say, like, wow, we've progressed so much.
We've come so
right?
far, yeah. Uh-huh.
That's the sort of feeling I want to produce in my D&D players when they, I want to put them up against something that was previously difficult and now it's easy.
Yeah.
But that doesn't always work out so good. Like, for example, there was a campaign I gave you guys a while back, remember, where I didn't even let you guys start out as your classes right away.
Yep.
And you got, like, beat the hell up by some kobolds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then later fighting kobolds was easy, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
And I think I kind of forced it in that one.
Yeah, that was a little railroady, but I see where you were coming from.
But that's like what I was aiming for. Okay, whatever.
Sure.
All right, so they're able to carry the bridge so good. And
super easy.
they eventually arrive at this cloud of smoke that Rocket spotted off in the distance, and it is in fact a caravan carrying none other than Rock's family. However, it has been attacked by Voidbringers, which is a shame. But Rock's family is fine. Don't worry.
They're okay. Yeah. So it's his wife and all his kids, and like his youngest kid hardly even knows who he is because he's been gone for so long, and they don't know he was like
he's been gone for a year. His kid is only 4.
Yeah. I mean, they don't know what happened to him at all. They were like, "Why didn't you write? Like, what's the deal?" So he's gonna have to explain this horrible thing that happened to him, and what's going on now. So, but hey, a fun little reunion.
Yeah.
Also, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just gonna say it's very exciting that Rock is reunited with his family, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I was just gonna retcon something back in the chapter earlier. Renarin is like doing stuff at the Oath Gate while everybody's practicing, and then he comes over, he's talking about how he's like, I can't be Bridge 4, and Rock is like, shut up.
Yeah, Rock's like, shut up, make some soup, cut some bread or something. And Renarin's like, cool, a task. And Renarin just wants to be included so bad.
So bad. And he's like, I've always been the weirdest one. And Rock is like, no, Shen's the weirdest one. I mean, duh. And
okay,
Renarin's
wait, can we talk for a second, though, about Renarin?
Yeah, sure.
At the end of the last book, Renarin was like, I'm actually a Night Radiant also. I can see truths or something.
Yeah.
And now, like, Renarin can do healing, but what else is his deal? I feel like we've gotten, like, nothing on Renarin.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, hardly showed up in Oathbringer so far.
Yeah. We know, like, we only know that, yeah, he's a Radiant, and his two things are healing and Illumination, but he hasn't been able to figure out Illumination at all.
Is Illumination the stuff that Shallan uses to do illusions?
Yep, yeah. He said he's, like, talked to Shallan, and she's tried to teach him, but he can't figure it out.
But what does that have to do with seeing truths? Which
Oh,
he definitely said he used to be able to do. That was his thing back at the end of book 2.
Yep. Yeah, no idea.
I'm just like, I'm really lost on Renarin. Honestly, I would kill right now. Despite the fact that I'm not a huge Renarin fan, I would kill for a dedicated Renarin chapter.
Novella.
where we could just see from his point of view.
Right.
And
everything
figure out
that's
like
happened.
what is going on with that boy. You know?
Yeah, he is so weird and mysterious.
He's a mysterious boy, and that's
Yeah.
just the long and short of it.
But yeah, so Rock's like, Shen's the weirdest one, and Renarin's like, well, maybe you're right, and so he goes and hangs out with Shen. Or Elaine, I suppose.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're just like, being outcasts together. See if they can unite in their weirdness. Or something.
And then we have a bit where Dalinar is going back into one of his visions, and he's bringing in like Yasna and Navani or something.
Yep.
To like really get a good look at things and do scholar stuff, And they're like, maybe we should bring Shallan. She could draw the heck out of all this, and really, really nail this stuff down. Mm-hmm. But they don't bring her for right now, and I believe that this is in preparation for bringing in the Akasix Prime of Aesir, right?
Yep.
He's gonna bring in that poor little kid who lived and just turned into
accidentally made the
leader
emperor.
of Aesir, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be hilarious. I don't remember exactly how it goes, but I hope he just brings in the kid.
Yeah.
And the kid has none of his advisors around.
And he just can't do anything, yeah.
I would love to see Dalinar and the kid
just going at it.
I think that could be really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm psyched about that. I mean, geez, what all happens here? We kind of learn more about Odium, right?
Yeah, and just kind of the whole overarching conflict. Sorry, my cat is trying to knock my ring light over.
Oh, that's okay. You know, John, she's cute, so it's fine.
Yeah,
you can do anything if you're cute enough.
Oh, listen to her.
Mm-hmm.
She's just sitting on my desk.
Get a little meow.
Yeah, she's right next to the microphone. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the Stormfather's kind of explaining stuff. They find the Circle of Honor Blades where the heralds, kind of left. But,
yeah, and actually, right at the end, we see the moment when an Azish person stumbles into the Circle of Honor Blades, which kind of gives us a clue as to how
the Shin came to.
Oh wait, not an Azish person, a Shin person.
Yeah, Shin person. Yeah.
It's how the Shin person came. The Shin people came into possession of all the Honor Blades, which we've talked about before.
Guy just found them. Yeah.
They just
So
they just happen to be right in there. Oh, I did it again! No.
So we find out basically that okay, so what did we know already? The desolations happen. The heralds go to work, fight and stuff, and whether they die or at the end, they go to the spooky hell dream and everything sucks.
Yes, and they're tortured, and we knew it was torturous, right? Already.
Yeah, we knew it was horrible.
And then eventually another desolation happens, and they pop back out, and they
do it
fight
all again.
that one.
Yep. So now we get kind of some more information on how that all came to be.
Yeah.
So basically, when the first desolation happened, the heralds were all able to seal the Voidbringers in literal damnation.
Yeah.
But in order to do so, they were also leaving themselves vulnerable to be tortured for eternity.
And this is what we've heard spoken of as the Oath Pact, right?
Yep.
Among all of these heralds was Telenelot, right? The madman, who I believe is currently in the possession of Amaram, right?
Yep.
Telenelot was apparently the only one of the heralds who was not like a king or an epic warrior of legend. He was just like a guy who was really cool, I guess.
Yeah, they just like let him into the club.
Yeah, and all of these heralds collectively signed this oath pact such that whenever one of them breaks under torture, then the next desolation happens. Then the Voidbringers are set free. And the only one who's never broken under the torture is Telenelot, because he's just such a freaking baller, right?
Yeah, he's just the coolest dude, yep.
He's so cool.
So basically, every time one of them cracks, then the next desolation starts. So for a while, they were doing great. They could be tortured for a long, long time.
Yeah, like 1,000 years even. Like, a huge amount of time would pass between desolations.
But then, oh man, that torture will wear you down, you know? So
and at the end, it was only, like, within the single-digit years between desolations.
Yep.
And this was kind of revealed when, Navani was saying, like, wait, this is the last desolation? Like, why do they only have bronze weapons when a little while back they had, like, incredible technology available to them? Like, what's up with that, right?
Yeah, so we found out that, basically, since the desolations keep getting shorter and shorter, mankind has less time to figure stuff out before, the end times come.
Yeah.
Another apocalypse. So... so right at the beginning of Way of Kings, not even the prologue, the prelude, is all the heralds saying like, all right, we're done. Hey, we tried our best, but the desolations, they keep coming and coming. This is too hard.
Yeah.
And they give up. They just straight up give up.
And only Telenelot went back.
Because he didn't come back to the circle because they all lived through the battle this time. Except for him, he was in hell, and they were like, well, kind of lame of us to do this, but he's never broken before, maybe he can just do this by himself, but we're done.
Yep. And they put Talon in there until eventually, after a pretty long freaking period of time, he hit his limit,
right?
And even Talon broke under the pressure, and he was driven to madness in the process. And now he's actually showed up, and Dalinar is like, oh, wait a minute.
That
crazy person was actually a herald.
Oopsie
Hold
doopsie.
the phone.
Yeah.
Where do you know where he is?
Yeah, and I think, remind me, correct me if I'm wrong, but he was like, oh, so the shard blade he had was an honor blade, and the Stormfather was like, no, it wasn't. I don't know what happened to it. But
I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
The shard blade Talon brought to them was not actually the honor blade of the Stone Wardens.
Right, and this is why I was so confused back in Book 2, because whenever it was that Dalinar confronted Amaram, because he used the shard blade that Talon had, and it was still like screaming when he bonded with the Stormfather, so I was like, oh, that must have been a different shard blade, but I think it was the one that Talon brought, and it was just a basic shard blade.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So, I mean, that begs the question, what happened to Talon's honor blade?
Right, yeah, where is that?
Well, and, I mean, how would that even happen? Because he comes back from this spooky hell dream, right? Presumably with his honor blade.
Yeah.
And then he somehow loses it, but then in his madness gains a shard blade?
Right, yeah. Because, like, the first we saw of him was when he, like, busted through the gates of the city and Hoyd was there. And he was like, it's the end, I gave up, I couldn't do it anymore. And Hoyd was like, well, you're probably too late, buddy. And that was like, I imagine he came out, like, right around then. And he had his shard blade then because he cut through the gate to get inside. So, yeah, I have no idea.
I'm kind of at a loss with that myself. That really, I'm, like, trying to figure out how he possibly could have... Because I think you're right. I believe the Stormfather basically said that the shard blade Talon had was not an honor blade, right? So, like, how did we get to that point?
How dare Brandon Sanderson give us mysteries of things we've already read?
Brandon Sanderson, this is so uncharacteristic of you. Normally you never give us mysteries.
Why would you, put me in doubt of things I thought I knew?
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's so they're learning all this. The Stormfather's explaining it as they're seeing stuff happening. So now all the characters know this stuff. I mean, most of it.
And Dalinar's like, "Why didn't you tell me this before, Stormfather?" And the Stormfather's like, "Well, it won't really affect your actions whether or not you knew this, right?" And Dalinar's like, "I don't know, maybe." But,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so we'll see if this causes anything. But yeah, now they don't know where town is, so Amaram's probably going to do something weird.
Yeah, Amaram, like, has the Herald.
And his whole thing was bringing back the Voidbringers to bring back the Knights, right? So, kind of the backwards philosophy that we've talked about a few times.
If Amaram somehow becomes a Knight Radiant, the thing is that, like, he's not going to become a Windrunner because the Honor Spren are cool. And the Honor Spren pick people who are cool and just.
Mm-hmm.
But the other Spren, like, there are 10 orders of Knight Radiant. Like, for all we know, there may be some division of higher Spren out there who, like, seek out big assholes, right? I don't know. Like,
I mean, like, the Cryptics are kind of the opposite of the Honor Spren, and they're all about lies. So who knows what the other Spren like.
Even the Cryptics still seem kind of cool. Like,
yeah,
Pattern doesn't seem like he would pick someone who's just, like, totally evil, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
But, yeah, I'm just nervous about it.
Yeah, it seems sketchy.
I'm nervous about really bad people becoming Radiants, and it'll just suck.
Yeah, because I kind of wondered the same thing. I was like, is this gonna, like, how do they all get along if they were all so different and had different powers and stuff? You know, you'd think that, like,
what I'm kind of gathering is that they probably didn't all get along. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, my cat wants this bottle cap very badly. Here, you want this?
John, this has been a short little episode, I think.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Well, actually, we're 47 minutes in. Holy moly.
No, it's not so bad.
Even the short-feeling ones are a decent length, I guess.
Yeah.
But I just squashed a bug. Damn, I'm good. My reflexes, no bug can survive.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, cat.
I think let's end it there, though.
All right.
You know?
What are we reading next time?
John, I don't want to talk to you anymore. And next time, we're reading chapters 39 through 48.
Hey, while you're looking at it, can you just send me the sheet? Because, like, I have to... This week I forgot, and I went back and listened to mine because I remember you saying it to me and me repeating it. And that's how I remembered what chapter to go to. But if I just have a thing, I can reference it.
Oh, wait, I won't say your whole email address out loud.
I appreciate that.
I'll just put you in as a viewer. You're not allowed to edit it, John. So there.
Okay, I won't.
And this time it was a pretty short reading, which may account for the fact that we didn't have, I guess, too much to say.
Yeah.
Next time, though... Oh my god, it's even shorter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Excellent transition.
So, chapters 39 through 48, and we will be on our merry way. Plugging through the middle of Oathbringer.
Of part 2.
Yep.
See ya then. No shenanigans this time. No, sir.
No shenanigans. Totally normal ending. Bye.
Bye.